We're continuing to follow the breaking news here in the Situation Room. 3 leaders in the fight against the coronavirus are now in self-quarantine after being exposed to the virus in the halls of the West Wing of the White House. The nation's top infectious disease specialist, Dr. Anthony Fauci, as well as the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director, Dr. Robert Redfield, and the head of the Food and Drug Administration, Dr. Stephen Hahn, all impacted. They are now, out of an abundance of caution, for 14 days in self-quarantine, mostly spending time at their own homes. We're going to have much more on this coming up, but the effects of the coronavirus outbreak, they have been devastating to the U.S. economy as well. And just to remind you, the latest jobs report out Friday morning shows 20.5 million American jobs were lost in the 4 weeks of April alone. Nearly 10 years of job growth disappeared in just 1 month, and there are fears the worst may not be over yet. Larry Summers is joining us right now. He served as the Treasury Secretary during the Clinton administration. He was the director of the National Economic Council during the Obama administration. Mr. Secretary, thanks for joining us. I wanted to talk about the economy, the economic impact of all of this in a moment, but your quick reaction to what we just are seeing and hearing from the White House, 3 top officials from the coronavirus task force in self-quarantine because they were in contact with someone who's tested positive, and the president meeting in the cabinet room with members of the Joint Chiefs, nobody wearing masks.
Stunning. Unbelievable, Wolf. First of all, when the president meets with the Joint Chiefs, he usually does it in the Situation Room. When he does it in the cabinet room, it's because they're trying to have a photo opportunity. So they tried to have a photo opportunity of the President of the United States and the most important military figures in the United States violating the guidance we are all given for our own safety and given for the safety of others. Understand this. Dr. Fauci and his colleagues, when they quarantine, aren't just doing it to protect themselves. They're doing it to protect everyone they might come in contact with. The President of the United States, by not quarantining, everyone else in that room, by not quarantining, is failing to follow basic medical safeguards. People talk about contact tracing. They talk about that constantly. This is what contact tracing is. It's that those people should quarantine. This idea that there are different rules for the leader of the country than for everyone else, that has not been the American way. I mean, it's the most basic concept of military ethos that generals live by the rules they expect their troops to live by. I may not understand something. This is, as you say, breaking news, but this is inexplicable to me, and it's inconceivable to me that it would have happened in either of the administrations of which I was a part.
Yeah, they should at least be wearing masks out of an abundance of caution, if not gloves at the same time. Or let's talk about the economy right now.
Just 1 second, Wolf. I just want to emphasize my point, which is Dr. Fauci's quarantining is not just about his own protection. It's about the protection of all of those he might potentially meet. And so, respectfully, I would suggest the question that you and other members of the press should be asking is, why isn't everyone who came into contact with those White House officials who now have the virus, why isn't everyone quarantining? That's the question that I think needs to be asked and followed up on. Or are they putting people knowingly putting their fellow Americans, their at-work colleagues, at risk?
Yeah, Dr. Fauci, Dr. Redfield, Dr. Hahn, they're all in self-quarantine now for 14 days.
They're doing the right thing.
Yeah, they are clearly doing, and they all say they will completely wear masks. They are absolutely doing the right thing. I suspect more members of the White House Coronavirus Task Force will be doing the same thing, once again, out of an abundance of caution. But they got to do it to not only protect themselves, but to protect, as you correctly point out, others as well.